Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
I get so nervous before this starts. Welcome to
I
this
was looking forward to some medical advice. Crap, now we're not intended to do that.
No. We'll give it. It's just not any good. I don't mind giving it. Welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. It's July 7th, 2026, and this is episode 170, or as some of the kids call it, 170. So
that's right. We're here live and in person on the set.
That's right. Steve behind the glass and Richard across the desk from me.
Yes, we mentioned you. You don't need to talk back just because we mentioned you. He's so much brighter-eyed than he was before our hiatus, because his hiatus was used for other things.
Well, being on the wagon does that. I mean, it's
he's been doing great, though. We haven't had any issues. It's been terrific.
I know. As a matter of fact, I keep forgetting he's there. But, it is what it is. Speaking of forgetting, I don't have anywhere to go with that. But we wanted to play this
segue.
I know. I segued into the abyss. There's nothing there. But there is something. I wanted to play a video as we started off. Richard and I we follow these ladies on YouTube. They have their own podcast, and they used to have a radio show up in Indiana called Chicks on the Right. And this is Mock and Daisy. These two ladies are fantastic, and they find these clips all over the internet, and sometimes we strip some of these clips from them, but we're going to play the whole video for you. If you're watching us on Spotify or on Rumble or YouTube, then you'll be able to see this, but otherwise the audio is very good on this, but it's two different Americas, and how these two young people about the same age see things so differently. And I think you're going to like this. It's not very long, but let me share my screen. And I don't see my share screen anymore. Where's my share screen? There it is.
Yeah, got it. You have to go to the more.
Oh, that. Yes. All right, hang on.
One bar, two Americas. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, you know what I'm saying?
I'm the second person in my family to get a bachelor's degree.
I'm like trash. You ghetto at the same time.
I did move back to this area out of financial necessity.
I love this place. We're a different breed out here.
I was finishing a PhD. I was working a couple of different jobs. And so I did move back in with my parents.
I work all the time, I'll tell you that.
I finished it over a year ago, and I've not been able to find a job and move out.
I work 6 weeks, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. That's what I do.
I have a book that's being published about neoliberalism and work.
What is it you do? I work on utility poles and lines. I'm an inspector.
The American dream, do you think that's real?
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean anything to you?
No. It's all about how hard you work. Real Yeah.
That social contract and how it degrades a bit is real. Do X, Y, and Z, and then you have certain expectations, and then you don't get the other side of it.
And are you enjoying life?
I love life. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I love him. I just love him so much. It hurts. I'm writing a book on neoliberalism
and work, which you can't find.
And then you're in a bar spending money. Who bought you that drink?
One.
I think that's just fantastic. And she's just so, I have this PhD. And the guy that she's with, he's like, you follow the rules. You go A, B, C, and D, and you expect to get something in return. You go to school, you get your degree, you get your PhD, you got a daggum doctorate, and you're living with your mother?
Well, it's two participation trophy kids. I'm sorry, that doesn't do anything. The other guy, you can bet he played sports and stuff where it wasn't participation. And who's the happier of the three?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
I mean, he is just, oh yeah, it's absolutely, it's real. You know, it's like I thought I'd be living in a trailer all my life and I'm working my tail off and I'm making great money. And he's happy doing what he's doing. People don't understand that. How can you be happy going and doing physical labor every day for so many hours? I don't know, but I was.
Yeah, yeah, I liked it.
That was just to say we only worked half days.
Yeah, there you go. And I didn't do 12-hour shifts for that long, maybe 4 or 5 years. But that was and I've always said this, and I told my son this when he was little, that I'd rather go to bed physically exhausted than mentally exhausted. And my job had some mental challenges to it too. And we were talking off the air about this. So I enjoyed, it was like a puzzle every day, with inventory and everything. When I worked in the warehouse, it's like all these things but it was physical at the same time. So I slept like a baby every day, the whole time. And I know you did too. You were probably more physical than I was.
Oh, I tell my girls, I said, if you want some help with your homework and you're asking me at 8:30 at night, it's not going to happen. You need to ask me when I come home.
Yeah.
But you're always tired. I'll wake you up when I get up at 4. And they went, oh, no, 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 no. And then you'll see how tired you are at the end of the day. So you're going to find out when you go bust your tail like that all day long, you're pooped at the end of the day. You have given your all. So.
But I saw something I was thinking about when she was talking. I saw something. There's like trillions of dollars in debt that people have because of college degrees that they've gone, because they bought into the idea that that's how you be a successful person in America, is you go get a college degree and then you get to sit in air conditioning and do a little bit of nothing and get paid 6 figures and do just fine. I bet that guy's making a lot of money.
Oh, I'll bet he's making quite good money. If you're working 12 hours a day and an inspector and doing it 7 days a week, what did he say? He had like 6 weeks in a row of doing that, and then he may have like a week or 2 off and then go back at it again. It's like some people really, really love that schedule. I know guys that were working in the oil fields and probably are back doing it again in North Dakota, and they would go back there and work for 2 weeks, 14 days straight, maybe 21 days straight, come home for 2 weeks. They might work 3 weeks on and 2 weeks off.
That was a big boon in North Dakota. It was people from all over the country moved there to work in the oil fields, and it was because it was very, very good money. And as a man, and again,
hard work.
Yeah, it's very hard work. But as a man, you do what you have to do to take care of your family.
Yep.
Did I enjoy working overnight shift? No, but I did it. My son doesn't like working at the tire factory, and it's dirty, it's sweaty, it is what it is. But I mean, he doesn't enjoy it, but he does it because he's got 2 little girls at home.
Yep.
The same as you. You had 3 little girls at home.
Yep.
You did what you had to do.
And it's I enjoyed what I did. You were out and about, and my boss was every customer that I took care of all day. I got to go see my friends once a week because it was, it was really nice. I didn't have a boss standing over your shoulder. Your numbers were good. You got bonuses and extra day off if you were routeman of the quarter, and I did routeman of the quarter like 3 years in a row. I always had an extra week's vacation. So,
My biggest thing was, the only thing I really hated about the job was working night shift. That was really the hard part for me, because that's like petting a cat backwards to me. It was sort of like, some people fall into that very easily. It was always a struggle for me to get my sleep right and to transition when you have a week off or even a day off or whatever. And it's like, so I worked 6 days a week. I had 1 day off that I would get up and go to church, but it was like, I would make sure that I got my good sleep on that one night I had off, and have a little bit of melatonin and some Benadryl, and it would knock me out for 11 hours sometimes on those nights off. So
yeah, the thing that bugs me the most about that is those that, I'm highly educated, I'm going to have a book on it. How many people are going to go buy that book?
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
And you look
Well,
down your nose at somebody who works hard.
yeah.
We were talking about that. It's making the rounds again of, I think it was like 6 people or something, and where they were, their lot in life. And one was a gentleman was in the military, and this other young lady that
Mm.
still was dressing like a 22-year-old, and she was in her
Pink
30s with a
hair. Yeah.
doctorate.
Yeah.
And she looked down her nose. Oh, well, you're just in the military. I'm definitely going to have a higher IQ than you. They all got given the same IQ test, and she was last out of the 6.
Yeah. Well, and again, like you and I were talking off the air, there is something about doing things on your own and not relying on a textbook or somebody in a lab coat. Again, this is something that we've talked about many times. It's like you got that lab coat mentality, is that whatever somebody tells you is gospel. Or you and I are skeptical of everything, and because we're skeptical because we know that people lie.
Yeah,
We
that's right.
understand human nature. We understand that things aren't always the way they're scripted out to be in the textbooks. And I think that does add to your IQ, because you're a problem solver. You're
Yep.
a puzzle person. I mean, I don't know.
You got to think through something in order to fix something. Instead, you have people that you got educated and they go, "Well, I don't want to do that. I don't know."
Yeah.
Well,
I
figure it
never,
out. It's not that difficult. There's
never,
this little device. If
Mhm.
only there was something you could look it up on. I don't know what it would. Give me a break.
But it wasn't in the book. It wasn't in the class. I don't know.
Nobody told me how to figure out how to use my water right so that I could water my lawn. I went, an irrigation pump, and I bet if I run it there and I run it down this way, then I can run a line of power out, and I made it so I could unplug it and then do some other, voila.
As long as people stay off your lawn, that's really the big.
That's all. Because it's all that matters, you hear me? Don't make me come out there with my pea shooter and get you. But you got to figure some things out, because it's just not, hey, this is what is. Let's do something with it. So,
Yeah.
anyhow,
know.
yeah, they can't figure out anything. Nobody fixes anything nowadays. My wife, when something breaks or isn't working, she goes, "Well, what's wrong with it?" "I don't know. Let's see what we can do, and I'll fix it." We had that heavy rainstorm, and I did have my air conditioner plugged in outside, but the plug was underneath the air conditioner. Well,
Yeah.
it was when you get almost 2 inches of rain in 4 hours.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it just was coming down in buckets, and apparently water got into the plug just enough that as soon as it worked that night, the next day I went to plug it in. As soon as you plugged in the little GFCI that's part of the plug for the air
Yeah.
conditioner, snap. I went,
Of course.
there's water in there. I can't get
water.
it out because these screws ain't made to come back out the other way. So we got to thinking about it, and it's like, get some of that, dries the air. She found a deal where it comes in little square packets like this in a tray, and put it inside a plastic bag, sealed it up except for where the cord comes out, and just left it in there for like 2 days.
Like a damp
went-
rid type thing, right?
Yeah, that kind of deal. And I went, well, it's been in there 2 days. If it hasn't drawn out, I said, some of these little crystals are a little hard, so it's gotten moisture from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I went, well, let's see. Boom.
There you go.
It works. I didn't have to go buy a new one. A lot of people would have went, well, the air conditioner's ruined. I guess we'll buy a new one. No, I'll fix it first. I have taken fans apart we've had for 15 years, taking it all apart. The last time the wife goes, well, it's not turning again. I said, dear, it's done. I said, I did everything. I mean, I had the motor clear apart, the armature, the whole everything, lubing stuff up. You can only do it so long, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's broke. Let's fix it.
We got a little toy Jeep that the girls can ride on.
Oh,
that,
I saw that in one of your pictures.
Yeah, we had sitting in the garage for the last, because they were afraid of it when we first got it. And now that they're 3, I thought, well, and it worked great, but all of a sudden it wouldn't work. I'm like going, you got to be kidding me. And we got it actually for free. We bought something at somebody's yard sale, and they said, would you have a use for this? I'm like going, yeah. So I bought it to put a battery in it, and it worked great. And now, because it sat in my garage, I guess the humidity, the heat, or whatever, something melted. We got a cold solder joint. We got something. So I replaced the battery again, because the battery wouldn't charge up past 7 volts. So it needed to be 12. And then I replaced the two of the modules that were in it because everything I read said it's probably one of those. So, and they were like $15 a piece, so it's no big deal. So I bought those on Amazon. They came in, I put them in, still doesn't work. So now I'm kind of like, I got my hands up in the air and I was like, do I give it to somebody and let them deal with it? Because the girls are still afraid of it. So I'm like, because by the time they're not afraid of it, they're going to be too big for it. So, I mean, 'cause they're like 30 pounds now. So anyway,
I have something like that. It drives me insane.
I
will
know.
mess with it, and same thing with a problem with the computer. I will wake up thinking about it. I'll wake up in the middle of the night.
You lay in
If I
bed and
tried
not
that.
sleep because you're thinking about it. You got to get up and do something.
That sucker's not gonna beat me, damn it.
Well, we need to get to some of the news, I guess. God.
What? Oh yeah, we're actually doing a podcast today.
Yeah. Graham Plattner, our favorite Nazi out of
the nipple Nazi.
Maine.
Anyway,
He's looking at dropping out of the Maine senatorial race. Maybe he's dropped out by now. We've heard conflicting reports, but I heard the Democratic Party has until Richard heard about the 13th. I heard the 22nd to pull him, or
it's
that
in the next couple of weeks. Let's just put it that way.
pretty soon. If they don't pull him, or if he doesn't quit by a certain date this month, then he's on the ballot in November, no matter what. So they got to make a decision. And if I was part of the Democratic Party in Maine, I'd be like, "going, you need to get out of here," because he's been nothing but a liability. And supposedly, there is more news to drop that the Republicans are hanging on to, more scandalous stuff to drop. And I don't know how much worse it can get, but okay, if that's what you say. So we'll see.
It's like, I'm going, why are you guys still supporting this? Do you not hear what he's saying? I mean, he makes what Mamdani says, Commie Mommy there, sound like child play.
Yeah, it makes me want to have coffee with Mamdani. I mean, it's completely. Anyway, we've been reading lately that it's possible that the Republicans may have a chance in the midterms in November. I'd like to be that optimistic. I can't say that I necessarily am, but we saw in America's 250th birthday celebration. You'd think that would be something that all of us could come together like we did in the 200th anniversary. Richard and I are both old enough to remember how that went, and man, it's like the whole country came together. It was wonderful, and we weren't as divided back then either. Politically, people weren't so strange, but anyway.
Well, they were still kind of strange, but not that bad.
Yeah. After the Washington, D.C. fireworks, which was a fantastic display from what I understood,
man,
40
that just
minutes.
went and went.
But the leftist media couldn't stand it. CNN actually tweeted, get this, it said, residents of Washington, D.C. briefly experienced the worst air quality of any major city in the world, according to a company that ranks pollution globally, as the Capitol reckoned with the aftermath of a massive 40-minute 4th of July fireworks show, according to CNN. So, I mean, it's like, so they couldn't kind of bask in this is awesome. And yeah, after a fireworks show, there's always pollution. There's always clouds. It dissipates. It goes away. But anyway.
I mean, of all the stupid things to complain about, really? This is our 250th. It's not something we do every day. And then they had that lightning deal. It wasn't that it was just raining a little bit. It was lightning, and everybody had to evacuate. And some of the wonderful interviews that they got with some of the World War II veterans that were 107, 103, who still had a great singing voice that sang in the what did they call that? The Freedom Bunker in the trailer they were in.
So, yeah.
And all that. And they went, well, we'll find out how many people went home. Okay, you can go back out. They ended up with almost 150,000 back after they had to evacuate. Nobody left. They came back. They wanted to see it. And it was wonderful giving those awards and stuff to those. I mean, it was 7 or 8 of them, and they were all over 100.
Oh wow!
The oldest,
have to be.
The oldest was 107.
Because if you had to be 18 in 1941 or 17 in 1941, then yeah, that adds up. So I mean, it's incredible these guys are still out there doing it. I love it. I love it.
So it was just fascinating to watch. I really enjoyed all that. I enjoyed all those interviews, and then you had three gals that would great harmony and singing the Bugle Boy from the
Company B.
Sisters. How about the Andrews sisters? Different sisters. And it was just fascinating. All these guys, and they were all sharp as a tack. They'd ask them questions, and they would answer right back. Not what.
What? The interview when they were doing the Normandy thing back in the spring, I think it was, when they were in Normandy, and they were interviewing some of those guys, and they were like, man, and they couldn't wait to try to stand up out of their wheelchair. I mean, it was like, wow. I mean, like I said, I'm not 1/5 of the man most of those guys that hit Normandy at 18 years old.
Yeah.
For his sake. I mean,
and so this is what all the left wants to complain about, instead of, wow, look at how our country, the things we've done in 250 years, blah, blah. No. Oh, they're putting smoke in the air. Ooh. Oh, give me a break.
Speaking of CNN, on their July 4th special, actually the night before the July 4th special, they had Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper drinking beer on the air, which I thought that was kind of strange. But you know, I was just hoping they weren't going to kiss. But they asked comedian Dave Chappelle an excellent question. He gave an excellent answer. Here's that.
Hey, Dave, you are you are so emblematic to the idea of the power of free speech.
Sounds like Kamala.
Tell me tonight, as we look at the 250th anniversary of this country,
drunk, right?
why you are proud to be an American, and how do you view our country today?
Boy, that's a loaded question. Now I see why Trump gets mad at y'all all the time. Why would you ask me that? All right. No, I got an answer for that. I don't agree with everything that our government does, but the one thing that I really consistently believe and that I love about being an American is my countrymen. If I'm overseas or around the world, anytime I see an American over there, we just give each other the Fight Club look, because we live in a madness that only we really understand what it's all about. And I have faith in my countrymen, no matter how crazy all of this will make it feel, that the sun will rise, and that I feel like I'm part of a very incredible community. So God bless my countrymen, and let us make this country absolutely great.
And again, I love Dave Chappelle because he's honest. He's a lot like Bill Maher. There's some things that I don't agree with him on, but he's honest. He is who he is, and you don't have to agree with everything. I mean, it's not a club you join. I mean, being an American, we are. I don't know.
Did you like? Okay, and did you? Oh, you didn't. Well, we'll get back with you. The committee will meet.
Yeah.
It's not like the Democrats. It's not what they do. Wait, you didn't what?
And easily one of our favorite congressmen, Brandon Gill.
Oh, he's got to be. I just love it when there's any clips on him. It's like, oh, it's Brandon. Oh, yay! Who's he gonna rip now?
In the last year, I have grown such an affinity for this guy. I mean, he's fantastic. He was asked on the Ruthless podcast about the Democratic platform, and on this same note, he summed it up pretty well. Here it is.
Should we end fraud or should we not? Is Somali immigration good for America or is it not? And it should be a very easy question to answer. But the beauty of where we're at now is the left is so ideologically connected to really insane ideas like mass migration, as Trump says, transgender for everybody. We start trying to stop fraud in Ohio. We start trying to expose it, and they will just instinctively take the other side no matter what. Yeah. I mean, we saw that yesterday, and they're, instead of being serious about the fact that we're losing $1 billion just in Ohio alone, just in this home health services sector alone, they're going to go the other way and focus on the fact that it's Somalis doing it and they want to protect the Somalis. So it puts us in a really easy position.
I hope he's right. I mean, again, the only people they're reaching is the ignorant or willfully ignorant people that, they're just doing this because of racism.
I don't care if they were purple and they were doing it. Same thing. You're a problem. I really don't. Then it would be, I love you. You love. Yeah, it's going to be Barney.
Oh, you do a good Barney. That's good.
Oh, thank you. My girls did not care for him at all.
Oh,
So.
my son loved him. My son loved him. He had a Barney he slept with. There you go. Goodness.
No,
Oh, he's probably going to hate me for saying that. But
any of the children's stuff that we would look at as adults and go, boy, and he's he's talking down to him. They didn't care for that at all.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
It's not my doing. It's them going, So.
Yeah. And you know that, and speaking of the ignorant, Patty Murray, who's a senator from Washington State.
Yes.
And by the way, we were talking off the air. I think her dentist needs to be burned at the stake. if he even exists. Google this lady and check out her teeth. That's all I'm gonna say. And maybe it's dark roast and just neglect. I don't know, but it's really, really bad. Anyway, she's upset that Elon Musk has not been paying. Well, put it this way. She made a tweet the other day, and she said, Elon Musk, the literal richest man on the planet, the world's first trillionaire, is paying the same amount in Social Security taxes as an electrician who makes $185,000 a year. That's outrageous. Richard, tell her what she's won.
Have I got a mouthful for this moron. I'm sorry, maroon.
Wait a minute. We have that. Hang on a second. I think we have that. Let me see.
You did.
We do. Gosh, I love that. Here we go.
What a maroon. What an ignoramus.
There we go. Anyway, sorry.
Yes, the People's Republic of Washington is just getting horribly, horribly bad. They're just they told California, oh really? Here, hold our beer. Let us show you what we're gonna do. And they're running off businesses faster than they can get. At any rate, she's saying that Elon Musk, she not bothered to look at the rules. It's capped at $185,000, period. So if you're making $184,500, you're right up. That's where it's capped at. And if they're both making $185,000, that's $500 over the cap. Right. So yeah, they're going to pay the same, but they don't pay the same, and I'll explain that to you as well, because it's just not something I saw. This is just me and my. This is an opinion brought to you by. Anyway,
it is a podcast of our opinions. So
if she thinks that's all Elon pays, I got news for her, dumb arse. He has roughly 100. I've seen numbers from 160 to 165,000 employees that he employs through his various ventures that he has going on, SpaceX and all of that. And of those 160-ish thousand employees, guess who has to pay what the employees pay? He has to pay the same amount of Social Security as the employees pays for each and every one of those people. He has created 160,000 jobs. What has she created? Misery and pain.
Yeah, and they're not minimum wage jobs. These guys are. So a lot of those guys
when
are.
You're talking SpaceX and all of those, and the other job things that he's got that are way over my head. Nobody else is being that innovative. You can't be innovative in these communist countries because you're not getting anything for it. You're getting the same as everybody else, whether you're really good and innovative or you suck. Doesn't make any difference.
And again, I think that she's preaching to the people who either are ignorant or willfully ignorant by even using the $185,000 mark. She obviously knows the framework of how that works.
Oh, she was slammed so hard immediately. I like to go in and read some of the comments. Oh man, it was one after another. Do you not even know how your own Social Security that you vote? You don't like it? Well, then change the vote. Oh, but you won't, because then it affects your donors.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I mean, considering what she makes in Congress and then what she makes probably on whatever side business she has going on, she's capped out too. I mean,
or how much she makes on I'll help you out. I need,
that's under the table. That doesn't count Social Security.
Oh, that would be down lower. This is, getting a backhand at it. So
Yes, it is.
anyway.
Well, tell you what, when we come back, I've got one more thing, or I've got a few more things. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about how some demographics are pulling away from the Democratic Party and why. And we have a lot of specifics on that. It's really, really good. After this break, we do have a rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, and I'll give you a little bit of
banger.
That too. Bangers and mash. It's a British thing. That's why we do that. It's sausage. Bangers. Don't send me emails. Anyway, hang in there. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
This is the Stay Off My Lawn show and podcast. The grumpy old men you know and love. We'll be right back.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Used Car Lot Auto Salesman.
Mr. Used Car Lot Auto Salesman.
Slick back hair, a sharkskin suit, alligator boots. You cultivate a look that oozes, trust me.
I think that I can trust you.
You stand behind every car you sell. Because if you stood in front and the brakes failed, you'd be crushed.
You better watch out now.
Oil leak? What oil leak? That puddle under the car is just sweat from all that horsepower.
Let the horses out now.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Peddler of the sheet metal. Because when life hands you lemons, you sell them.
Mr. Used Car Lot Auto Salesman.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
1, 2.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, you just don't hear harmonies like that anymore.
Huey Lewis and the News. I could not find when that was done. That's not recent.
Everything I've read was 1986, a playoff game at Candlestick Park for the San Francisco Giants. I don't know who they were playing, but everything I read was pointed towards that. So
okay, that sounds about right. When he was a hot item, and that group they did that so well. It was nice to see something like that. It's making the rounds again.
Yeah, so exactly. I can't believe that was 40 years ago. Just incredible. I mean,
it's only like 10 or 15. It's mid-80s.
It seems like it to me, yeah. Anyway, a lot of what was the solid Democratic demographics are seeing changes. There's an account called Black Card Decline. And this lady is really, really good. And she summed up how if you're black and you have to basically flush your common sense down the toilet in order to stick with the Democratic Party, and she brings the receipts, we'll put it that way.
Man, she is good.
Yeah, she is. Here you go.
How are you a black conservative?
How are you a black Democrat? You mean the same party you say has been helping you for decades, but your communities look worse, not better? You mean the same party that started the Ku Klux Klan and somehow convinced you they're your savior? You mean the same political machine where LBJ, after signing the Civil Rights Act, said they're going to keep these niggas voting for generations? 62 years later, and you're still predictable. They dangled a black male president in front of you that did nothing for black people and everything for gay people, and a black female president that advertised to you with white people tacos and Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage. And you never stopped to question that? They told you they were fighting poverty, but really they went and knocked on the doors of black families and told them that if they got rid of the man in the household, they could have this money and what we now know as the welfare system. They strategically demolished the nuclear family, leaving over half of the mothers in our community single mothers for generations, policies that incentivize broken homes, dependency instead of independence. They made it so you systematically rely on them, and now over half of the black households are dependent on the government. And they tell you crime is someone else's fault, while your neighborhoods keep getting worse in the very cities that they run. They build organizations, collect millions in donations, and somehow your community is still struggling while that money goes to $1 million homes, DoorDash, and new cars. And now they've got you fighting for illegal immigrants that take your jobs and have been killing your people, and they still give you nothing. So let me ask you again, how are you a black Democrat?
Well, she's made such a good point. I mean, it's like,
I don't have any rebuttal because that's just too good. She didn't miss anything.
No, she didn't. She didn't. She's fantastic. And again, her handle on all her social media is Black Card Decline. So you have to search for her. She's got a lot of content. She's really, really good.
Yeah. When I find somebody that good, I just automatically follow them, and then I'll go back and see some other stuff, because you can't be that good and not be, that's kind of our thing here is it was all common sense.
Common sense.
Which is like, how can you do this when this is what they've done to you? Did you not notice that? What did I see a stat? And I'm pulling this out of the air, but it was 85% or better of all black households had a father in the household until LBJ signed stuff.
Right.
And over the last decades, it's down to like only 30%.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is that-
it's 30%, because 70%, the one I read was 70% was fatherless homes. So yeah,
it's and because of the abortion thing and whatever else, their numbers actually at one point in time were in decline.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Replacing. So,
but they keep coming out with these organizations like Black Lives Matter and everything. They're supposed to enhance the black community, which of course I'm all for. I mean, there's problems, and I would like to see those get eradicated, at least revert back to the way it was prior to LBJ and that whole thing. I mean,
well, here's what the problem is you give somebody a hand out is different than a hand up.
Yeah.
You take away their dignity when you just keep dumping things in their hand, or you're doing something nice for somebody just because that's different than you mean I can just sit on my butt and not do anything? And we were talking off air about that, and I believe that Americans are getting really tired of all of our taxes going to people who just sit on their butts and don't want to work. At one point, I haven't heard Trump say much about it, but I think he'll be coming back to it, is you need to be working 20 hours a week. I'm not asking for the moon. I'm just saying you're an able-bodied person, and we're not talking about everybody. We're talking you're an able-bodied person. You need to be out there doing something. I don't care if it's volunteer work. I don't care if it's going and cleaning up a park after an event, something. You've got to do something for 20 hours a week to try and get, your astute ideology, whatever, up, that you're feeling better about yourself because you did something, instead of just sit there and eat bonbons and how you can find one of these consoles to play games on that are not cheap and sit around and do that all day. I don't get it.
Oh, I know. We had to go to well, I was just going to say that, since I got out of the military, when I first got out, I got 2 jobs. So I was working at the radio station. I would get up at 4:30 in the morning to get to the radio station and work from 5 to 9. And I was a morning show producer. And then when I left there at 9 o'clock, I had to open I was managing a camera store that I worked from 10 o'clock until I had to get there early, but 10 o'clock until sometimes close at 9 o'clock at night. So, I mean, there was a lot of days where it's like, I got to see, I was dating Barbara at the time. So it was like, I didn't have a lot of time for that. But I think that most women are attracted to a guy who's not lazy, just sitting around going 20 hours a week. Man, I would have killed for 20 hours a week for at least a week back then. I mean, 20 hours a week. I did that, just one of the jobs.
Yeah,
so,
There were times with somebody wouldn't come in and you had to do something, and or a special had to be run. I would work an 18-hour day. Was not uncommon. You'd go home, head hit the pillow, and you're back up and back at work. It just seems like you went home for a nap. I should have just went out and slept in the car.
Well, when you're younger, that was a kind of expected of us when we were back in the day. Back in the 80s, that was expected of young people. They worked. I mean, I didn't know anybody that was unemployed. And
I came from farm life. I knew how to work. A lot of kids didn't.
Well, I don't know. But speaking of knowing somebody who doesn't know what work is, Mayor Commie Mamdami. See, that's a segue for you studying at home.
Not a good one, but it's a segue. No,
not a good one, but I never promised you a rose garden. And that's a reference to an old song. Anyway, Mamdami put out a video while sitting at the George Washington desk the other day about what new America in New York City looks like. And you were telling me you knew some of the background on some of this. The people that were standing behind him?
The people that were standing, I didn't know, but someone else that they had just did their swearing in ceremony to become American citizens, and then this is the crap he was saying right next to legal American citizens, not people that have wandered into this country and, well, yeah, you're just going to pay me to sit on my butt. Okay. And that's the other reason of what the Somalis and that have done, stealing from American taxpayers. Don't make us want to help you out a lot. Sorry. We've had enough of it.
And we were talking off the air too about the World Cup and how that team was such an amalgamation of immigrants or people that want to be an American that were not born here, a lot of them, but they have pride in their country, something that a lot of natural born Americans don't have. It was a great picture of what America truly is.
Yeah, it was really neat. These people were from literally all over the country, from California to the East Coast. There was 2 of them from El Paso, Texas. Yep. They're just everywhere, every walk of life you could think of, and they all played together as a team. And it's amazing when you're all working for the same purpose, what you can accomplish, as opposed to, trying to divide everybody is not working. That's socialism.
And former LA mayoral candidate Spence Pratt. I can't speak today. I need more coffee. Coffee, please. He gave a perfect rebuttal. This is about 4 minutes long. We may not get through all of it, but he was not happy with Mamdami. Here he is.
We all had to sit and watch that vile commie mayor sit on the wrong side of our founding fathers' desk to try and lecture us about our own history. Notice how the communist always attacks your history. The communist must attack your history. Why? Because history is what anchors you. It's what makes us attached to something. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. History breeds an almost irrational attachment to things, an attachment that is more powerful than anyone can imagine. Erasing history is how you demoralize people, how you unmoor them and detach them from their society so you can take it from them and rewrite it in your image. Think of your country like a home. What makes your home special? It's not the marble countertops or the expensive furniture or the fancy appliances. It's the memories you have there. That backyard is where we got married. That living room rug is where our son took his first step. Hey, don't touch that. That was his first teddy bear. It doesn't matter how torn and tattered that thing is. You will never get rid of it. And you will fight anyone who tries to take it away. Why? Because you have history with it. You ever buy a new home? Remember those first few months? Even the first few years there, it doesn't feel like home. It could be a million times nicer than the crappy apartment you came from, but it doesn't feel like home for a long time because you don't have history there. It's easy to knock down some walls, change the floor plan. If you have no memories to attach you to it, it's just wood and drywall. Who cares? Get rid of it. Memories make it a home, even the bad ones. Hey, remember when Dad hit his head on the rafter in the attic and we spent all night in the ER? That's the avocado tree I fell out of and broke my first bone. Isn't it weird how even the bad memories make us cherish a place? It's not like we long for those bad times, but bad times are part of what makes us stronger, a part of what makes us who we are. How can you resent those memories without fundamentally resenting who you are? History is so important to humans, even bad memories anchor us to our home. And that's what the communist always starts with. the bad memories. Oh, we could get rid of that little story. We can knock down that statue. We can change the name of that street. That's a bad memory from our history. You don't want that memory hanging around. You're not a bigot, right? And slowly but surely, this wall comes down. Then that wall gets sledgehammered. The rafter where dad hit his head, that's gone. The rub where your son took his first step, that's gone. The gash in the wood floor where you stomped the glass on your wedding ceremony, that's gone and replaced with shiny vinyl planks. And now you've got a brand new home with no memories. Now what? Do you care what they do with it? Do you care what color they paint the walls? Nah. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I have no attachment to it. I have no memories with that. You love your home because of the memories you have there. And that's why the communist always must destroy your memories, destroy your history. If the communist wishes to take your home, he must first destroy your memory of it so he can erase your attachment to it and demoralize you. Mao destroyed what he called the four olds: old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. If you call them olds, it makes them sound bad. You don't want that old thing. Get rid of it. But it is fundamentally human nature to cherish your history. We crave learning about our history, where we came from, who our ancestors were. That's human. But communism is an evil, anti-human religion, so it must destroy what makes us human. The communist destroys your history so he can take your home and rebuild it in his image. That's why it's your patriotic duty to celebrate today unashamed. It's okay to love America. Not only is it okay to love America, it's necessary to love America. We are the only bulwark against tyranny on this earth. When Europe descends into madness time and time again, it's our sons who cross the oceans to fight and die for freedom and human dignity. We don't let evil people destroy our history and rewrite it in their image. This is Independence Day. It's not just a number on the calendar. Don't say Happy 4th. That's commie gobbledygook.
I love it. He goes on for a little while longer, but I think that he's got a future in politics. I think he's so well spoken and he's so right on everything.
And he's so commonsensical.
Yeah.
Nothing he's saying is way out there or some oddball. It's exactly what they've been trying to do for the last 60 years and are getting more successful at it, because people think, because how many times have the left wing and Democrats, we're going to give this to you. It's just government money.
Yeah.
Well, where does the government get their money from? They don't have a business. They don't have any means of selling and getting. They weren't. They are now through tariffs and stuff. That's causing everybody's pocket to go.
It hasn't happened.
I would rather pay, and that's not, everybody isn't paying on the tariffs. If you decide you want this item that's tariffed, that's on you. You didn't have to buy that. And if you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. Right. But if pretty soon you don't have income tax that you're having to pay, and you don't have the IRS to have to answer for what you've worked hard for, I'm telling you, all this, we'll just give you. Well, the give you comes from everybody's pockets.
Really free ought to be renamed 100% taxpayer subsidized is what it should be.
That's exactly it. And anything the government touches, they have screwed up so phenomenally bad.
That's why I was against Obamacare. Why give 1/7 of the entire GDP over to the government where they can't even run the VA, which is a small microcosm of what a socialized medicine program would be.
And we were talking off the air because we're both Social Security now, and the Social Security, we're running out of money. We don't. What? You seem to have money for all this other crap. Well, here's part of the problem. Since 2003 to, I think the number went to 2024. I don't believe it went to 25. I think it was 24. The amount of money that was misspent or went to people that shouldn't have had it is $2.3 trillion. Gee, and you wonder why Social Security and why we're not getting more for what we're paying in. So the government can't run anything right.
No, and they haven't so far. And one thing that Spence Pratt said too is like the way the communist is kind of like changed or divided us, and it's really kind of sneaky, is it's made it to where let's get rid of the history, let's hate our own country. And Have we made mistakes? We're not perfect, obviously.
No.
Even when we read the Declaration, we're going towards a more perfect union. It has nothing to do with we are perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Are we the best thing going? Absolutely. But I think it's, and I heard somebody, and I can't take credit for this, but I heard somebody make this correlation that what if you had a 25-year-old son and it's like, and you stand up to make a toast at his birthday party and you go, well, when you were 12, remember when you broke that lamp when you threw the ball? It'd have been a lot better if you hadn't done that. And do you remember when you drove the car and you shouldn't have at 15 and you wrecked it? That would have been a lot better if you hadn't done that. And it's like you bring up all the bad things that your kid has done. I mean, nobody does that. I mean, nobody in their right mind does that.
Well, there are those who do, and it's not a pleasant situation. It's not. Then the family does what? It does this.
Exactly.
You don't get together. You don't do any events or nothing as a family, and you just peters out because you want to do that. That's what it causes.
We're absolutely seeing that countrywide because
100%.
so many people want to focus on all the negatives, and there's negatives, no doubt, and hopefully we've learned from those negatives and not made those same mistakes again. But at the same time, it's like you can't focus on the negatives. Look at how great we have it here. Anyway,
well, as is millions and millions of outsiders coming to this country from whether it's Japan or anything, India and all these countries, sending people over, Europe,
Croatia.
all the folks in Europe and stuff, and they come over here and go, we've been almost all of them say we've been lied to. This is not what America is. It is a wonderful place. And the news media, you have trouble trying to find these because it sure isn't mainstream media that's putting these things out there.
Nope, sure isn't. No, you have to look. Absolutely.
Yep.
And we found a lot of them. We've actually played a lot of those clips.
Well, we don't look in the normal places. We don't listen to the mainstream media because it's nothing but tripe. So.
Right. Well, I heard someone say the other day that if we eliminated all the fraud, the illegally filled ballots and people who are illegally here voting, the country would be more 80-20 Republican to Democrats. Now, I don't know if I believe that. Maybe. At first, you might think that's kind of outrageous, and I'm not 100% sure that I believe that, but I do believe we've only scratched the surface on finding all this fraud. And one of our other favorite congressmen, Wesley Hunt from Texas, he's from Texas as well, he explains to an open Congress on one big part of this issue, and here it is.
American people and the census manipulation that Democrats have been using to influence American elections for years. In 2018, Republican leadership, including the president himself, called for a citizenship question to be included in the 2020 census reports. To no one's surprise, when the Democrats took control, these requests went unanswered, and the question of citizenship was waived. But the fact remains that the concept of sanctuary cities and radical blue states ignoring immigration law and using the illegal population to manipulate the lines of congressional districts is in fact unconstitutional. Not only are there severe constitutional concerns from the inclusion of illegal immigrants, but the Census Bureau admitted to having made several, quote, errors in their 2020 census report. Convenient, seeing that as in 2020, Donald Trump was on top of the ticket. In 2020, the Bureau undercounted in primarily deep red states such as Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas, all red, while overcounting in radical left blue states like Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, and Rhode Island. This egregious error led to many states being denied proper representation in Congress and the Electoral College. So much so that these errors cost Republicans not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 seats in the House. In addition to the 2020 miscounting, including illegal immigrants in the census has improperly granted radical left blue states 12 additional seats in the United States House of Representatives. It's a total of 18 seats gained. That is a huge problem.
Yeah, 18 seats. I mean, it's on the bright side. It's getting easier to spot.
And I love how the Democrats, you can't be doing this gerrymandering, blah, blah, blah. And my dear friend that we do stuff with him and his wife all the time, that was a relative of his, was something Jerry, Gerry, and he was the first one back in the 1800s to do whoppity doodle. His name is on the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So, yeah. So I went, wow, I don't know if I'd want to claim him or not.
Yeah. Like Benedict Arnold or something. You don't want that.
But, and we've talked about it before. If you want to look at a gerrymandered pile, go to Illinois. Good Lord Almighty. Really? And what about you? We're not talking about us. It's like, really?
You see that map, it looks like a 3-year-old drew it.
Can you stay within the lines?
It's just incredible. Just incredible. But he's so right. And that if we get rid of a lot of that fraud that he's talking about, 18 seats is huge. That's a big swing in the other direction in the House of Representatives alone. And we've already talked about previously that the whole Northeast, there's no House of Representatives Republicans from that area at all. We've not one. So, and I think a lot of that is gerrymandering. A lot of it is illegals voting. A lot of it is illegals being counted in the census, just like Wesley Hunt said. I think these are good points.
Yeah, that's why they're upset. That means 20 million of our constituents won't be able to vote because they can't get an ID. Well, it's not that you can't get an ID, it's that you're not legal to get an ID.
It's impossible to get an ID because you're not here legally.
Or you can pay for it. There's that issue.
Yeah. But anyway, on the bright side, it's getting easier to spot a modern day Democrat. The RNC, which I have my issues with. Huh?
There's only one modern day Democrat. There's one. It's easy to spot.
Well, I mean, the modern day Democrat is far left, democratic socialist, put it that way.
Oh, those guys. Oh, okay.
The RNC put this out this week, and this is just the audio from it, but it's pretty good.
In recognizing a communist, physical appearance counts for nothing. If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it.
I'm a democratic socialist. Mamdani is a self-described socialist.
I am a democratic socialist.
I'm a proud democratic socialist.
I identify as a democratic socialist, but I'm running as a Democrat.
We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in a communist publication, he may be a communist. If a person supports organizations which reflect communist teachings, she may be a communist.
I've been a member of New York City DSA for 7 years.
Feed the rich and feed the poor. This is class war.
If a person defends the activities of communist nations while consistently attacking the domestic and foreign policy of the United States, she may be a communist.
Cuba has a remarkable public health system.
We remember Fidel Castro, whose legacy is complex.
Sort of the opposite of what the United States has.
You know, when Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing?
There's a lot of dissidents imprisoned in Cuba.
That's right.
The actions and U.S. contributions to the suffering of Cubans.
This particular bullying and the use of sanctions.
Like other U.S. policies, the cruelty is the point.
It does not help the people of countries like Venezuela.
Do you believe that the 9/11 terrorist attacks on America were the inevitable consequence of American foreign policy?
Inevitable in the sense that we destabilized a lot of the Middle East, that forced people to believe that another act of violence was the only response.
If a person does all these things over a period of time, he must be a communist.
I mean, our goal is liberation. Our goal is communism.
1 + 1 = 2.
Won't help? Are you kidding me? You can't get medical even in Canada where it's free, but they pay 60% of their income in taxes. So they can have free health care.
Yeah, and good luck getting an appointment within 6 months.
And that's only 30 million people. Somebody goes, I don't know why it's not in the U.S. You think we can scale up 30 million people? The don't have good health care to 300 million people.
Yeah, I think we're good at 360 almost. So yeah.
So it's like, no, it doesn't. It just doesn't work. So
and since it doesn't work there, what makes you think scaling up is going to make it better?
And Venezuela, are you serious? They were the third richest country in the world not 35 years ago.
Yep,
they are now one of the poorest because of what was done by socialism. Is so wonderful.
Well, people bought into it, and we're seeing the same thing here today. It's almost the exact blueprint.
Because they don't teach about capitalism, how it benefits. It is the one thing that has pulled more people out of poverty than anything for all of humankind.
But you have to be motivated. You have to want to work. We've talked about that many times during today's broadcast. So, John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, has been a big critic of this weird swing to the left of his own party. And we talked off the air about this. It's like, one of my favorite governors here in Georgia was a Democrat. The only Democrat I've ever voted for was Zell Miller. And he actually spoke at the RNC a few years after he left the governorship here. And one of his big phrases was, and it's been used by other people since then, is that I didn't leave my party left me. And John Fetterman, I think, is kind of in the same situation. Some Democrats are now calling him a closet Republican. Even Van Jones from CNN sees that as kind of ridiculous. And here's his, which I'm surprised. Every once in a while, the broke clock is right twice a day. So here's Van Jones from CNN.
Look, I think he is a moderate Democrat, and that should not be illegal in this party. My God, you have to agree on 100% of the Berkeley, California agenda to be a Democrat? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it just shows you how nutty things have gotten, that somebody who wants to stick up for Israel and doesn't want an open border somehow now has to be a Republican. That's completely insane.
And that's just two of the issues. He's not for all this transgender for everybody and the whole thing. I mean, Fetterman's got some common sense, which is what we adhere to. I was telling somebody about the podcast just the other day, and it's like, we've had a lot of, I've not heard some criticism necessarily, is that it's just so partisan. It's really not partisan, because you and I, we like to adhere to common sense, as opposed to, and one party just seems to be a lot more for common sense than the other.
Yeah. So. One is, what? There's no way. What are you talking about? Yeah, there just isn't any.
Nope, no, not at all. We got one more story to get to, and I know we're over a little bit this week, but that's okay. We keep reading that a lot of the industry and jobs are moving to the southeastern U.S., and I know it's happening in Idaho too, but specifically here in the southeast, we're getting a big influx of people where I live. I mean, the population is exploding. And because of a lot of industry, there's just a lot of people being brought in that are working in these factories. There's solar panel factories, there's battery factories for Hyundai vehicles. There's all kinds of new stuff. But some people are calling it the boom belt. And if you never heard of the boom belt, which I had not before I saw this.
That was a new term for me when I saw that also.
Yeah, this is a podcast called Destination Better Life. And this is based in Florida, but they ran all the numbers, and they got some very interesting numbers on how the Southeast is doing as compared to the rest of the country and the world, really. Here's that.
When we talk about the boom belt, they're talking about 11 states: Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. And these 11 states combined, they are second in GDP to only the U.S. and China.
That's amazing.
They've captured 70% of the U.S. population growth. 57% of all new jobs in the country are in these 11 states.
So what you're saying is, in roughly 20% of our country, more than half, 57% of new jobs are falling within that less than 20% group.
That's correct. And 700 households move in every single day into these 11 states.
So that's why I'm saying, if you're concerned about your income, I think you come on down here, you get started.
Yeah.
And I think amazing things and amazing doors are going to be opening in Florida one of the leading states of the boom belt.
Yeah, Florida leads the charge, as we've been talking about. Its economy is $1.7 trillion. That's the fourth largest in the United States.
So if you took our state and chopped it off the country, which I wouldn't want to do,
Yes.
but if you took it and chopped it off the country,
Yes.
we would be the 15th strongest nation
Yep.
economically.
Yes, the 15th largest economic power in the world
Hard to believe.
is Florida.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, and really with all the 11 states that they mentioned, I mean, it's an incredible part of the economy. And you see states like Illinois and California and New York, I mean, they're dwindling and we're thriving. So, I mean, and what's the difference?
We are just in the valley area that I live in. There have been in the last like 12 years, that's something I was reading about. We've got over 240,000 have moved in. Well, you got a little small area and you have that many people dumped in. Phew, that would have been at the time almost doubling the population of the area. And they complain about, oh, the traffic here is just as bad as it. Oh, really? Then go back because you're part of the problem.
Yeah. Well, and when it grows that fast, your infrastructure, especially highways,
You
just
can't
can't
build
keep up.
roads quick enough, people.
Nope.
I'm sorry, it wasn't built for this.
And we don't have the housing to house a lot of these people. We've got apartment we probably had, I think when I moved here in the early 90s, I think we had maybe 4 apartment complexes in a whole area. I mean, there's got to be 20 now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
It's the only thing they can build fast enough to put people into. I mean, and they can't afford the housing because those that have moved in came from an area where at the time housing was worth a whole lot more than it was here. And they were buying 2 and 3 houses at once from the sale of one home where they came from.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it is growing. We went from when I was in high school, the population of the state was less than 1 million. We're now over 2 million. So we'll probably be getting another seat in the House.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we probably will be getting another one too. Cause I think we're at like 12 million for the state. I mean, it's incredibly, it's growing a lot, especially you get down towards Atlanta and we just had to go down there yesterday and the traffic was just like, we have one part. It's 3 lanes in each direction. And it's back to, you're just stopped dead. Once it gets down to 8 lanes, it opens up a little bit, but 8 lanes in each direction. I mean, you think you're in Southern California. It's crazy.
Well, after all this today, let's clean out with Pappy G, right? He's the 75-year-old Army vet from West Texas that you found, and he's got all these little things that are, 2.5 minutes a pop or something? They're very short.
just over 2.5 minutes, and it's really, really good. So here's this week's Americana about a soft drink, and here we go.
In 1885, in a small drugstore in Waco, Texas, a young pharmacist named Wade Morrison had a problem. His soda fountain was fine. His customers were happy, but a new young employee, a curious, restless fellow named Charles Alderton, kept tinkering with the syrup combinations behind the counter, mixing this with that, adding a little of this, cutting back on that, scribbling notes, starting over. He was chasing a flavor, something different, something nobody had ever tasted before, and one afternoon, he found it. He slid a glass across the counter to Wade Morrison and said in effect, "Tell me what you think." Morrison took a sip. He told Alderton to make another one. The regulars of Soda Fountain caught on fast. They'd drop into one of those old spinning stools, slap the counter and say, "Shoot me a Waco." That was what they called it, a Waco. Not exactly a name for the ages, but it was honest and it was Texas, and everybody knew what you meant. Nobody could quite describe what it tasted like. Wasn't quite fruit, wasn't quite cola, wasn't quite anything they already knew, but they kept coming back for it. Word spread to other soda fountains, other pharmacists wanted the syrup, and just like that, almost by accident, the oldest major soft drink in America was born, right there in Waco, Texas. Eventually, it needed a real name. Morrison called it Dr. Pepper. Why? Nobody knows for certain. Over a dozen different origin stories exist, and not one of them has ever been officially confirmed. Which is honestly feels right for a drink nobody could ever quite describe either. By 1904, Dr. Pepper was introduced to the entire country at the St. Louis World's Fair. And down the road in Dublin, Texas, about 80 miles west of Waco, a bottling plant has been running since 1891, making Dr. Pepper the old-fashioned way with pure cane sugar. Dublin became a pilgrimage site for purists who swore it just tasted different, better, the way it was meant to taste. 2 Texas towns, 1 legendary drink, born in Waco, bottled in Dublin, loved everywhere. Happy 250th, America.
Now, it's something I never got a taste for, but I know that you like it.
It's one of my. I drink very little soda pop. I say soda pop because some parts of the country it's soda, some parts it's pop. I don't know. I just grew
pop
up
is upper Midwest, I think.
Yeah, and I just soda pop for me. At any rate, I do enjoy it. But here's a little piece of trivia for you. If you look up the old labels of Dr. Pepper, and I thought I'd heard they were going to put these numbers back on the current labels. I don't know what they're doing, but at any rate, everything's nostalgia nowadays. The old label used to have a 10, a 2, and a 4 on it, and people for years was going, wait, why do they have this number on? That was when you were supposed to have a Dr. Pepper at your 10 o'clock break, at your 2 o'clock break, and for a 4 for a pick-me-up in the afternoon. That's when you should be drinking Dr. Pepper, because the doctor told you.
Yeah, and then at 6 you take your pre-diabetic medication, and
oh, shoot.
But that's pretty cool, though. I mean, and then there are 23 different flavors. Obviously, he worked on this quite a bit. There was a lot to it, and we've got a lot of these. We've got enough to run us through the end of the year with these. I love this. I love the way he tells a story. So I mean, this is just right up my alley. So I think both of us enjoyed it.
Yeah, he does a very good job of just kind of telling you about it. It doesn't sound like he's reading it to you too bad, and it's very enjoyable. But that's a little piece of Dr. Pepper trivia for you that I happen to have run across. It's one of those things that I've got file drawer stuff with papers hanging out of them, and here's another piece of trivia that stays.
I'd like
in there.
10, 2, and 4 to have a. I'd like to have a taco at 10, 2, and 4. I would be happy with that. Oh, hey, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you get podcasts.
And if it's too difficult, you can just go to our good old website at stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
And we'll see you next week, folks.
Toodles, and thanks again for watching, and appreciate you always telling a friend. We are in a growth mode right now, and we can't tell you how happy we are about that. 95 countries isn't anything to sneeze at. So keep telling your friends, and we'll see you here again next week. Well, we had fun, and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh, or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Mostly, anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.